Story No. 1. The lake house we rented for 1 week. We found the rental online. A lake house, 4 bedrooms, private dock, good reviews. My wife and I booked it for a week in July along with another couple, our friends Derek and Lena. We'd done trips like this before. It was supposed to be a normal vacation. The house was beautiful, exactly as advertised: wood floors, big windows overlooking the water, a screened porch that caught the evening breeze. We arrived on a Saturday afternoon and spent the first day settling in, grilling on the dock, watching the sun go down over the water. Everything was exactly right. The first strange thing happened that night. We'd all gone to bed around midnight. My wife and I had the master bedroom on the upper floor. Somewhere around 2 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of the screen door, the one off the kitchen that led to the back porch, opening and closing once. The particular sound it made was distinct. A light metallic scrape as it opened, a soft slap as it closed. I assumed it was Derek or Lena getting some air. I went back to sleep. In the morning over coffee, I mentioned it. Derek said it hadn't been him. Lena said the same. My wife had slept through it entirely. We checked the screen door. It was latched from the inside the way we'd left it the night before. The second night, the same sound, same time approximately. Screen door opening and closing once. This time I got up. I went downstairs, checked the door, latched from the inside, and looked out through the screen at the back porch. Empty. The dock beyond it, empty. The lake surface still and dark. I checked every door and window on the ground floor. Everything locked. Everything exactly as we'd left it. I didn't tell the others that morning. The third night I stayed awake and waited. At 2:09 the screen door opened and closed. From where I was sitting in the living room, I had a direct line of sight to the kitchen doorway and the door beyond it. The door moved. I watched it move. The handle depressed, the door swung outward on its hinges, paused for 2 or 3 seconds, and swung back closed. Nothing opened it. No hand on the handle, no figure moving through it. The door simply opened and closed on its own with no wind in a sealed house at 2 in the morning. I woke Derek up. I told him what I'd seen. He didn't disbelieve me. Derek is a practical person, but he's also someone who takes things seriously when they're presented seriously. He came downstairs and we sat together in the living room for another 2 hours. The door didn't move again that night. We told the women in the morning. Lena wanted to leave. My wife wanted to stay and try to find a rational explanation. We compromised. We stayed. But we called the rental company. The woman who answered was polite and unhelpful. She said the house was well maintained. There had been no reports of issues. She was sorry we were having an unusual experience. I asked her directly if she knew of any history associated with the property. There was a pause. Then she said the house had been in the same family for many years before it was converted to a rental. She said she wasn't aware of any specific history. She said it in the careful way people say things they've been coached not to say. We stayed the full week. The door opened and closed every night at almost exactly the same time. We stopped reacting to it after the 4th night. By the 6th night, Lena had started saying goodnight to the kitchen before she went to bed. She said it as a joke, but she said it every night. On our last morning, while we were loading the car, I walked through the house one final time. I stood in the kitchen and looked at the screen door for a moment. The lake was bright and still beyond it. I said, We're leaving now. I don't know why I said it. It seemed like the right thing to do. The drive home was quiet. None of us talked about it much. We've never booked a lake house since. But sometimes in July, when the evenings are warm and the light is right, I think about that porch and the water and whatever came to that door every night at 2 in the morning, looking for something. I hope it found it eventually. Story note 2. My daughter started talking to someone we couldn't see. My daughter Ella was 3 years old when it started. I want to be careful about how I tell this because I'm aware of how it sounds, and I'm aware of the standard explanations. Imaginary friends are normal. Children that age have rich inner lives. Their brains are developing rapidly and they process the world differently than adults do. I know all of that. I'm a rational person. I'm telling you this anyway because I don't know what else to do with it. It started with Ella talking to the corner of her bedroom, the far corner to the left of her window. She would stand facing that corner and have what appeared to be conversations, pausing as though listening, then responding. Sometimes laughing, sometimes nodding seriously the way children do when they're being told something important. We assumed imaginary friend. We didn't interfere. We'd read that it was developmentally normal and that drawing too much attention to it could disrupt something healthy. So we watched from the doorway and let it continue. What changed our thinking was a Tuesday afternoon in October. I was in the hallway outside Ella's room and I heard her talking to the corner. I stopped to listen, not eavesdropping, just the automatic attention parents have for their children's voices. I heard Ella say very clearly she's listening outside the door. I went cold. I stepped into the doorway. Ella turned and looked at me completely calmly as though she'd expected me to appear at exactly that moment, which apparently she had. I asked her who she was talking to. She said a name, a woman's name I didn't recognize. Then she said, she lived here before us. I asked what she looked like. Ella thought about it with the seriousness that 3-year-olds bring to important questions. Then she said, old, but nice. She smells like flowers. I spoke to my husband that night after Ella was in bed. He'd had his own moment. A week earlier, he'd passed Ella's room and heard her say, I know. I know, in the patient tone of a child being told something for the second time. He hadn't mentioned it because he didn't want to make it into something. We did some research on the house. We'd bought it 2 years before from an estate sale. The previous owner, an elderly woman, had lived there for over 40 years before she passed. We found her name in the property records. It was the name Ella had given us. We never told Ella that. She was 3, we didn't know how. The conversations continued for about 4 months. Then, one morning, Ella stopped going to the corner. Just stopped. When we asked her about her friend, she looked at the corner for a moment and said, she went home. She's 7 now. She doesn't remember any of it. We've tested this carefully, gently over time. It's genuinely gone from her memory the way early childhood usually is. But I remember, and sometimes when I pass her bedroom door at night, I pause, and I look at the far corner by the window. It's always empty, but it's the specific emptiness of a place where something used to be, a particular quality of absence that I notice every time, no matter how many years pass. Ella sleeps well, she's happy. Whatever was there, if anything was there, it seems to have been exactly what my daughter said it was. Nice, and then gone home. I've decided that's enough. That's all I need to know about it. But I still pause at the door. Story no 3. The last passenger on my bus route. I drove a city bus for 11 years. Night route, mostly the route that runs from the transit center on the east side out to the edge of the suburbs. Last pickup at 1:15 am, back to the depot by 2:30. Quiet route. By the last few stops there were usually only a handful of passengers, sometimes none at all. I need to tell you about the last stop before I get to the rest of it. Stop 44. The last stop on the route before I turned around and headed back. It was at the edge of a neighborhood that had seen better days. A bench, a streetlight that worked maybe 60% of the time, a crossroads with nothing on any of the four corners except overgrown lots and a closed gas station. Nobody ever boarded at stop 44. In 11 years, I can count on one hand the number of times anyone was waiting at that bench when I pulled up. The man I'm going to tell you about boarded there on a Wednesday in March. I almost didn't stop. It was late, the light was out that night, and I didn't see him until the last moment. A figure sitting on the bench which I nearly mistook for a shadow. I stopped, opened the doors. He boarded. He was older. Dark coat, no bag. He put exact change in the fare box without looking at it, the particular efficiency of someone who has ridden the route many times. He took a seat near the back. I pulled away from the stop and continued the route. Here's the thing about driving a bus late at night for 11 years, you develop a feel for the vehicle. You know the sounds it makes, the way it handles, the particular weight of it with different numbers of passengers. It's unconscious, your body just knows. Something felt wrong. Not mechanically wrong. The bus was fine, but the weight felt off. The balance of the vehicle felt lighter than it should have been, even accounting for a nearly empty bus. Something about the distribution of weight felt wrong, the way a room feels different when something has been removed from it. I adjusted my mirror to look at the back of the bus. The man in the dark coat was sitting where I'd watched him sit, looking out the window. Completely still, but his reflection in the window beside him, the dark glass reflecting the interior of the bus, showed an empty seat. I looked at this for a long time, long enough that I nearly missed my next turn. The seat occupied, the reflection empty. I checked my mirror again and again over the next several minutes. Same result every time. I pulled into the next stop. No one boarded, no one got off. I looked in the mirror. The seat was empty. The man was gone. I had not heard him move. I had not heard the rear doors. The bus had not stopped. I pulled over. I walked the full length of the bus. Every seat empty. Rear doors closed and latched from the inside. I sat back down in the driver's seat and took 3 long breaths. Then I completed my route, returned to the depot, filed a standard end of shift report, and went home. I told my supervisor the next morning that I'd had a strange experience and asked if anyone had ever reported anything unusual on the night route. He looked at me for a moment, then looked at his desk, then said he wasn't aware of any reports. He said it the same way the rental company had said there was no history at the lake house. I drove that route for 3 more years after that night. The man never boarded again. Stop 44 went back to being empty every night, the streetlight working and not working in unpredictable cycles. I retired 2 years ago. I don't miss the late nights. But I still think about reflections, about what they're supposed to show and what they sometimes don't. About all the things that might be riding alongside us, in the dark that simply don't leave a mark on the glass. I hope whatever was on my bus that night got where it was going. I hope the ride was smooth